It's the Music Theory Corner. Come along and learn with me. It's the Music Theory Corner. Learning basic chords. Here we go.
Shalom and welcome to Joshua Pearsall's Music Theory Corner. Today we will be discussing chords. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are one step closer to... He's watching me, isn't he? But before we get to that, we must discuss chords, a little bit about their relations, how you build them, what they sound like, how they function within major and minor keys. We'll discuss all of that in today's video. First, the chord. We'll be focusing on a triad, or a series of three notes built upon two intervals, major third and a minor third. First, you have your major chord, which is a major third interval, and then a minor third interval on top of that. Then you have your minor chord, your minor third interval, and then a major third interval. Then you have diminished, which is two minor third intervals on top of each other. And then you have your augmented chord, your two major thirds on top of each other. So, before we get into the key signatures, one little concept we have to cover: consonance and dissonance. Consonance and dissonance are two important ideas in music, where dissonance is kind of the tension that builds, and the consonance is the resolution and the nice, stable sounding. So, for example, 1, 4, and 5 are both considered consonant, while something like 2 and 7 are considered dissonant. It's not like a hard set rule that this has to be this way, or consonants must blah, 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 blah. It's just good ideas to keep in mind, and I'll discuss a little bit more when we get back into how some of these chords relate to each other. First, we'll use the two keys C major and A minor, and for A minor, we'll both use the natural minor and the harmonic minor. So C major, you have your first, or the tonic, from last video. I hope you watched it. So your tonic will always be major. Your second will always be minor. Your third will always be minor. Your fourth will always be major. Your fifth will always be major. Your sixth will always be minor. And your seventh will always be diminished. Now A minor. Your tonic will always be minor. Your second will always be diminished. Your third will always be major. Your fourth will always be minor. Your fifth will be minor in case of your natural scale. Your sixth will be major, and your seventh will be major in the natural scale. Now, A minor harmonic scale, that would be your first was always going to be minor. Your second is going to be diminished. Third,
augmented.
Fourth, minor. Your fifth is now major. Your sixth is also major, and your seventh is now diminished again. The harmonic minor, because of that raised seventh, makes it so that dominant, the fifth, now sounds like the dominant in a major chord. Now, why does that 5-1 relationship, the dominant chord to the tonic chord, why does that work so well? Well, now that we're talking about chords, it's a little bit easier to understand, because the third, the most important note to distinguish what kind of chord it is, the third in a dominant, is the leading tone of the whole scale. So, for example, in the key of C, your G chord, G, B, and D, that B is the leading tone of C, and that's why it sounds like it wants to resolve into C. That B to C, that seventh to 1, is dissonance to consonance, and that's why it resolves so well. This has been a basic overview of chords. Next week, we'll get into key signatures. It's about time. But for now, thank you all for watching Music Theory Corner. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and here's a cute picture of a birdie.